when I thought I brought all the semen to this game, you went and totally topped it with even more semen.
Dueling Decades.
All right, gentlemen. So I pick up a point, tie this game, take control of the board, and we're heading into our final 1-point round, which is going to be the television round. All right. So the biggest thing on television, quite literally in July of 1986, was old Lady Liberty herself, the Statue of Liberty. So we get Liberty Weekend on ABC. It's a 4-day celebration to celebrate the restoration and the 100th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty. So the network paid $10 million for the exclusive rights to broadcast this. It was an extraordinary internet package, all put together by David Wappler, who we've mentioned on this show before. But you know what? They more than made up for that $10 million cost, as they were able to sell over $30 million in commercial times for the coverage. So coverage of Liberty Weekend started with opening ceremonies on July 3rd. At noon, we get Peter Jennings and a whole lot of seamen as he anchors a special 35-ship naval armada in the New York harbor. So primetime coverage then goes on at 8 o'clock with opening ceremonies again hosted by Jennings and Barbara Walters. And that included the lighting of the Statue of Liberty by President Reagan and the presentation of the Medal of Liberty, as well as a simultaneous induction of 20,000 new American citizens at Ellis Island and other cities across the United States. So ABC concluded the coverage on Independence Day with the Boston Pops and performances by John Denver, Whitney Houston, Johnny Cash, Barry Manilow, and a bunch of other people that you've never heard of. But the main attraction that night was the 30-minute fireworks display. It was the largest fireworks display in American history and the largest in the world at the time. It included 22,000 aerial fireworks and 18,000 single-piece sets. So coverage concluded on July 6th with a sports salute to U.S. athletes, performances by Kenny Rogers, Liza Minnelli, and the Pointer Sisters. So I give you Liberty Weekend on the American Broadcast Corporation, July 1986.
Nice.
All right. So let's toss it over to Mancrush for his pick in the television round.
All right. Just when I thought I brought all the semen to this game, you went and totally topped it with even more semen.
Hey, when you think of Peter Jennings, you think it.
You think it's
So far we've got talk about porn stars and semen and
it gets better. Let's go to television in 1976. Let's go to July 12th of 1976. And I was a bit skeptical going into the summer of 1976. Was I going to find another late night Fred Williamson movie like I did a couple weeks ago? Or was I going to actually find something with merit? And for the summer TV selections that we've been talking about and that I can remember, I've actually found something with more long legs than anything that I've ever selected during a summer episode before. I was a little shocked. One of, if not my favorite game show of all time, present show not included, of course. More than 20 seasons, 6 different hosts, thousands of episodes. I don't even know how many episodes exactly because I couldn't even find it online. This show it's a juggernaut, and it all started July 12th, 1976. It debuted on ABC Monday, July 12th, 1976 at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But let's go back a couple episodes where I came to bat with the TV Wonder Boy, Fred Silverman. Do you remember this episode?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Quick recap if you didn't listen to that one. Fred Silverman, I always want to call him Fred Savage, but Fred Silverman, he had left CBS for ABC in June of 1975. And aside from Jiggle TV that we talked about, he basically took ABC to the top. And one of the things I mentioned during that episode was Silverman also fixed the daytime programming at ABC. And in order to do that, he goes and he reaches out to his boy, Mark Goodson, who had created the Match Game on CBS, where Silverman was that's where he was, and said, "Hey, give me something good." And Mark Goodson, he handed him over Richard Dawson in the Family Feud and said, "Here, take this." And doing what Silverman does, like I said before, he started at 130. It wasn't the greatest, and he just shuffled it around until he found a fit. And then he did, and Family Feud became the top-rated game show on television. I'm telling you, this dude, Silverman, was an absolute dynamo. He's going to come up again in one of my other picks. Literally everything he touched in the 70s turned to gold. The 80s, much different story. But 70s, this dude was on, right? So I doubt there's much that needs to be said about the feud. You got Ray Combs, rest in peace, Louis Anderson, Richard Karn, John O'Hurley, the amazing Steve Harvey. He's been there for the last 10, 11 years. And he's brought the show back to one of the most watched game shows on TV. But it all began with Richard Dawson in 1976, the host of hosts. This dude would legit kiss every female contestant on her lips. Matter of fact, he liked one contestant so much that he kissed her several times during an episode that aired in 1981. After the episode was over, I think his family was on for 3 or 4 episodes. They went on a little run. So after they lost, she was getting ready to leave. He goes over to her and says, "Hey, can I get your phone number to call you after this?" And kind of the way they made it sound, kind of reluctantly, she passed it over to him. But fortunately for Dawson, she gave him the correct number. And this is a score for Dawson because she was 26 at the time and Dawson was 51 at this point. Anyhow, he ends up calling her. They eventually get married in 1991. They had one daughter. The former contestant, her name was Gretchen Johnson, and she was with him till the day he died in 2012. Wow. All the way to the end. Yeah. Anywho, I give you Family Feud, July 12th, 1976.
Outstanding. All right, Trevor, what did you bring for the television round?
All right. I also have another television juggernaut that's been going since July 22nd, 1996, and is still going today and is still going as strong as it ever was. Launched the careers of many, many people, including Craig Kilborn, Steve Carell, Stephen Colbert, Samantha Bee, Jon Stewart. The list goes on. It originally was hosted by Craig Kilborn. It premiered on Comedy Central, and common segments included This Day in Hasselhoff History, last weekend's top grossing films, and converted into lira. Sorry, that should say last weekend's top grossing films converted into lira. Kilborn was succeeded by said Jon Stewart and Trevor Noah. This show is still going strong. It's still as relevant today as it was. I think it's become a little less. It still has an edge of satire to it, but it's not as satirical as it once was. But yeah, for my pick, I bring you The Daily Show, premiering on July 1986.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, okay. So these are some tough ones because I actually appreciate all 3 of these. Unlike the movies that I was clueless, or of course I knew the movies, but had not seen them.
Clueless was 1995.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you would have went Clueless, I was right there with that one. Man, I would say Daily Show, classic, of course. I almost feel like that is a little bit political for me, for my tastes. I don't know. I feel bad because you're right there with me, but somehow I'm just dodging all of your picks for some reason. I should have went with Sublime probably. That was great. But
Tom, you got to figure though, we have, it's not really our picks. We just have a moment in time, and this is what time gives us. So
this is true.
I mean, it is kind of is what it is.
This is true.
I'll still buy your album. Don't worry.
Oh, hey, thanks. Well, when you first started, for some reason, I was thinking, oh, it's still running now. The Simpsons came to mind, but I'm like, wait, no, that was freaking end of the 80s, right? when The Simpsons started.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I actually have had friends who have been on Family Feud, which has been pretty hilarious to watch over the years. Love that show. But and by the way, is it Richard Dawson, right?
Yep.
Wasn't he in The Running Man?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep. He was
yeah.
Killian. Yep.
Dude, that was an amazing movie, and what a fun role for him, I'm sure, at the time.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I don't know, I don't have as much of a tie to the Statue of Liberty or the restoration or whatever, but for some reason, back when I was a kid, there's something very like it's this weird memory I have of like that restoration, and I think it was in that movie. Was it like Remo Williams or something? Do you guys know
Yeah.
that movie?
Yes.
Where he's like,
Yes.
yeah, he's up on there and he's hanging off of it, and it's like at that time it was all, like the restoration was happening. It was
Yep.
exactly. It was all scaffolded up. So for some reason that maybe it's from that movie, seeing it as a kid, just the idea of like that Statue of Liberty and people being up there and hanging off of it, and I don't know, that's like a one of those weird, like hauntingly nostalgic, like personal memories for me. So I guess I got to go with you again, Mark. Even though I don't know the TV, the ABC special for the weekend. I don't know. Don't
I can't
recall
believe that
that
went
at
on for
all.
2 days.
Yeah, right.
Three.
More. Yeah.
3 days.
3
They had-
days.
Whitney Houston, freaking Pointer Sisters. It must have been a big deal.
Yeah, they said that approximately 6 to 7 million people came to New York City just for this event, and that it brought in somewhere between about $500 million into the tourism economy.
Wow. And kind of cool that you said they kind of brought a bunch of immigrants into the country at that same moment, like as
Right.
part of it. Like,
Yep.
sounds like a pretty cool thing. Reagan lit the goddamn torch. Did you say?
Yeah.
Like,
They relit
He had a
the
machine
torch.
gun on at the time. He just fired it in the air.
He actually just tossed up a Molotov cocktail.
Yeah.
This is
Damn
This
it! I
is
knew
for
I should have come
America.
with the bicentennial. We had so much bicentennial stuff.
hey Nancy,
all right.
watch this.
Yeah.